Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling. And man, I really appreciate you guys coming by the channel and spending a little time with me. And man, I really do appreciate that because I know how busy everybody is, guys, with your family, working, taking care of stuff around the house. You don't have a lot of extra time. So really a big deal. It means a lot to me for you guys watching some of these videos. Really appreciate that. And guys, today we're going to be talking about probably my number one lure in the month of really from about July to September as far as catching numbers of fish. Here in the Ozarks, I don't know about anywhere else, but here in the Ozarks, I can average anywhere between 20 to 40 bass a day on this particular lure. And they're not all going to be big. I mean, most of them are going to be between 12 inches and 2.5 pounds, but it's a great way to catch a bunch of fish, and we're going to get into that in today's video, show you what it is. Also, guys, quick invitation, if you haven't had a chance, I'd like to invite you to please consider subscribing to here at Intuitive Angling. It's free and easy. All you gotta do is hit that subscribe button. You never miss a video. And also, I'll put my Fish the Moment lake map breakdown link in the description. If you guys want to check those lake maps that I build for Fish the Moment, you can get you one on the link there, so really appreciate that. Okay guys, a lot of you that watch the channel will have seen this before, but one of the things that you're going to notice here on the channel is a lot of the lures and stuff I talked about. It may seem redundant and like I repeat myself, but it's not, because every lure category that you have out there, there's a window of time when those lures work the best, and they're also conditionally. So you can talk about one lure and how to fish it, say in March, and the technique that is involved with it is completely different than fishing that same lure like in August or September. So a lot of it has to do with color, it has to do with how you work the bait, it has to do with the areas you fish in. So that's sort of the thing in today's video, because we're gonna be talking about the Megabass Dark Sleeper. This is my number one bait for catching bass. I'm gonna open this up here in the summertime as far as numbers. And I wanna show you something, guys. See that thumbnail I put in there? That is a chewed up dark sleeper after probably 3 days of fishing on Table Rock. And this is what it looked like when it was new. It was the 3-inch in this color. That thumbnail picture that you see in the thumbnail, it started out as this exact bait. This is called the haze color. And I'll put my Tackle Warehouse link in the description. You can order this bait through Tackle Warehouse and get you some of them to try it. But the 3-inch model in the haze color. I've caught them in a lot of different colors, but this is probably my personal favorite. It's got a little orange on the belly, and it just looks like a nice little sculpin here. So real quick, if you're not familiar with the Dark Sleeper, it looks like a swim bait, but it's not. You don't fish it like one. Specifically, how I'm going to tell you guys how to fish it to catch 20 to 40 bass a day. It is weighted on the bottom. It's got a flat weight on this thing. It's keel weighted, so it sets up like that in the water. And you fish this thing and you jerk it off the bottom hard like a jig, and you just pop it up like that and let it fall back down. You don't just reel it like a swim bait through the water column. You can catch them like that, but you're gonna catch a lot more fishing it on the bottom this time of year specifically, because that's what I want to talk about, is how to catch fish on this thing in August and September. Now here's what you want to look for. There's a window of conditions where this thing works. It's like, I'm not saying you're gonna go out and catch 30 bass on every lake in the country on it, but if you have a lake that has a decent bass population, especially if you have a lake that has a mixed species of bass, like a few spotted bass, largemouth and smallmouth, you're going to be able to average 20 or 40 bass a day this time of year on it. So here's what you want to look for. Look for the part of the lake that has some of the cleanest water in it. You need probably at least 3.5 foot of visibility for this to work. Ideally, in order to maximize the number of fish you catch on it, you need to have probably anywhere between 4 to 10 foot of visibility. Clear water situation is going to be the best. I haven't had very much success on it if the water visibility is under 3 or 3.5 feet. That's the number one thing with it. Second thing is there's 2 primary structures that you want to fish on this based upon how your lake is set up. The number one place for me where I can almost go out on any Ozark lake here, any lake that around my house here in the Ozarks, get out there either on the main lake or on a big major creek arm. Find the flattest point that you can find. Like my favorite is like a flat gravel point that runs way out into the lake. And those are where those fish are going to really key on this dark sleeper. Now, one of the biggest mistakes a lot of people make with this is they fish it too deep. Even if the water is hot and clear, say the water is 85 degrees, clear water, these fish on that dark sleeper, they're shallower than what most people fish for them. So a lot of people, for example, if you got 5 or 6 foot of visibility, they're going to get out in 20 or 30 foot of water and try to fish the ends of points and, look for breaks and whatever. What you want to do is get on those points and put your boat in no more than like 15 feet of water and make a long cast towards the bank. Start about maybe 75 yards from the point, work your way down the side of the point, around the point, and on the back side. Put your boat in about 15 foot of water and make a long cast to the bank. Try to hit maybe in like 3 to 4 foot of water. And when the bait lands, this is one of the big keys on it, is how you work it. Because if you don't work it right, you're never going to get a bite on it. Get my rod here and show you. When you throw that dark sleeper out there, and I usually fish it, guys, on that Megabass Perfect pitch, like a 7 foot, 2 inch rod. 10-pound test Seaguar and Vizex is the line I use with almost all the time. But you don't want to just throw it out there and let it hit the bottom and just start working it like a jig. You want to throw it out there and pop it like that. Let it go back down, pop it like that. Let it go back down, pop it hard. So you want to try to pop it probably, I don't know, try to get it 3 to 4 foot off the bottom. I did this for years before I shared it with you guys. This is one of those things that I kept off the channel. I didn't talk about it forever. Try to hop that thing about 3 or 4 feet off the bottom. And what's going to happen is about probably 75% of the time when the fish bite it, you're going to pop the thing real hard. And when you pop it hard like that, as soon as that thing shoots off the bottom, those fish will grab it. And you'll just, you'll bow up on them like that when you pop it. Excuse me. You bow up on them like that when you pop it. That's how 75% of them hit. The other 25% will come on the fall. It's like you'll pop it up hard, let the bait fall back down, and you'll just see your line tick on the way down, and that fish has come up and inhaled it as it falls back down. So that's the two primary bite windows you're going to have on it. Conditions, like anything else, you're probably going to do a little bit better in the lower light conditions. Like you got a partly cloudy or cloudy day, especially in that clear water, it might be a little bit better. You don't have to have it. Some of the best days that I've had on them has been slick, calm, sunny, that type of deal. I'll tell you, the guys, that thumbnail guys, you see the thumbnails in the picture there, that shoot up dark sleeper. I'll tell you, the first day I got on that, I was fishing at Table Rock down by the Big Cedar Lodge down there, down by the dam. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with that, this part of Table Rock is a zoo in the summertime. It's like there's thousands of recreational boats, those big, wave making bastards, those wave runners, the jet skis, there's the wake boats. And then Bass Pro Shop out of there, they have a guide service out of Bass Pro Shop at the Bent Hook Marina there, right on that lower end. And they always have dozens of guides going out every day. They got like 1,000 trips a year that go out of there. So this part of the lake, it gets hammered by guide pressure. It gets wakes everywhere from boat traffic. And I launched down there on a Saturday, which was a freaking zoo. It was so rough I could hardly stand up in my boat. It was about 90 degrees out. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. And guys, that's the day that I ripped them. I probably caught 50 on it that day, just in the most noisy, highly fished pressure area of the lake. So that made me realize how effective it was. And ever since then, guys, I've caught them everywhere. I've caught them at Lake Mead on it. I've caught them all through the Ozarks on it. I've caught them in Florida at Lake Toho on it. I've caught them up north at Lake St. Clair on it. Caught them down south at like Lake Lanier. I've caught them at Smith Lake in Alabama on it. All the Kentucky and Tennessee lakes, Lake Cumberland, Lake Douglas, all those guys, they bite it anywhere. So anyway, quick tip, guys, if you want to get some, get on that Tackle Warehouse link I put in there. Get you some 3-inch Megabass dark sleepers. I prefer the haze color, but I've literally caught them on 4 or 5 different colors, just depending upon the conditions. That's just my favorite. And give it a try, man. It's like I said, I can, regardless if you believe me or not, ask some guys that have went with me on trips before. You can catch 20 to 40 a day on it. So anyway, give it a try. I hope it helps out. See you guys.